Hello. I'm the writer, director, creator of MLN Pictures, and I got a special message for you today, Tuesday, September 11th, 2012, 11 years after the accident, September 11th. And there have just been a lot of interesting things that I've heard about. I'm sure everyone else has already heard about them, but I just want to give you a rundown of the list of all the important things that I know about. Fire has never, before 9/11 nor after 9/11, caused steel frame buildings to collapse. Okay? Fire has not caused steel frame buildings to collapse because office fires don't get hot enough to melt steel. Alright? But on 9/11, 3 steel frame buildings collapsed. Trade Center 1, Trade Center 2, and Trade Center 7. That's strange, isn't it? Because the codes that we build these buildings by that are rated to withstand this fire, for some reason, all the physics and all the logic and all the evidence we have just went out the window, and these fires caused all these buildings to collapse on the same day. That's really strange. Okay, now, the World Trade Center steel, which we could have examined and found evidence of explosives, or the real cause of why it suddenly disintegrated, within a second of each other, causing that collapse, at almost free fall speeds. We weren't able to examine it because as soon as they could, the feds came in there, they got the steel, they took it away, melted it down, shipped it overseas. That's a huge violation of federal crime scene law. If there was nothing to hide, why didn't they, leave the steel? Why didn't they, have people, anybody, be able to test it and look at it and see if there was any explosive residue, if there was any, some kind of damage from something, thermite or whatever it was, right? Why they take it away? There's nothing to hide. Whenever contact is lost on an airplane, usually fighter jets will take off and investigate. Commonly, let's see, what does it say? It occurs about 100 times per year. And the jets usually make it, and intercept the plane within 20 minutes. But on 9/11, hours went by. Hours and hours went by. I think 2 hours. But hours went by, and they didn't make any interceptions. They didn't do it. Why? Why did they miss the most important date that they could have intercepted? Why did they miss? They never miss. Why? Now, everyone's seen the photographs and video of Bush when he's told that the second plane hit the tower. All right, so he's in the classroom with the kids, and Secret Service say, hey, something's going on. There's an attack. Something's going on. And he's there, but he doesn't go anywhere. He's in a well-publicized classroom. His itinerary was made known. It was made public. But the Secret Service violates their protocol, and they don't take him out of there. Why didn't they move Bush? He could have been a target, unless the guys know, oh, you know what? Just letting you know, the second plane hit the tower, and he's sitting there like, oh yeah, I don't got nothing to worry about. It's not going to hit me. They're hitting other targets today. Secret Service, everyone else, breathe easy. Don't worry about it. Just a false flag attack. Everything's good. We're not moving. Also, another startling fact, which would be really crazy if it was true, but apparently the BBC and The Guardian has reported that the alleged 9/11 suicide hijackers, some of them are alive and well. Newsweek reported that 5 of them, the hijackers, may have been trained at a U.S. military base. I mean, come on. If some of these guys are alive, and the official report is that they're dead, and they, just like the Iran that ran the plane into, in the middle of Pennsylvania or something, and the coroner gets there, and he says, I stopped being a coroner, after 5 minutes. There was no bodies. No one found any bodies. There was just a hole in the ground and a few scraps. I mean, and then there's that crazy story about how a passport escaped, I think it was a second tower, a plane, when the plane hit the one that we all saw, and the second plane hit the tower, and then that huge fireball explosion, and somehow throughout all that, through the plane, through the fireball, through the collapsing building, through everything, the guy's passport, whoever the killer was, the suicide hijacker, his passport falls to the ground, and is in pristine condition, and they pick it up. It's crazy. It's like, the pristine bullet that, shot Kennedy, and the other guy, 6 or 7 times the magic bullet. I mean, this is just crazy, the lies they come up with. It's crazy. The Bush administration resisted the formation of the 9/11 Commission for 441 days. Similar investigations, such as those of Pearl Harbor or the Space Shuttle disaster, started about a week after. Why? I guess they didn't want it to come to pass. I guess they did not want for a 9/11 Commission, a serious investigation, to be done. Look at photographs of the Pentagon right after it was hit. The hole that you see there before the Pentagon had collapsed is like a 16, 14, I don't know, maybe 20-foot hole, and yet it's like 100 in 20-foot plane, 28-foot plane, something, and it fit into that little hole. I mean, come on, right? It was clearly a missile. They clearly shot a missile over there. If you look at jet engines and how fast they can fly at sea level for the big planes that hit the towers, what are they, like 757s or 767s or something? I don't know. The big planes that hit the towers can only travel but so fast, at sea level, because the air is thicker. You go up higher, the air is thinner. Then they can travel 500 miles an hour or more. But apparently they were traveling 500 miles an hour at sea level. But the engines can't do that. They can't disperse that much air that fast. I mean, there are things, when you look them up, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. There were several warnings prior to the attacks that were made by other countries and news, media, different sources. Apparently at least 11 countries told us to, be careful. And prior to 9/11, insiders such as John Ashcroft and top military officers and San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown were warned not to fly. So people were warned, and there could be an impending attack, but we didn't do much about it, So either way you look at it, whether if the government actually had a hand in doing something on 9/11, involved in the attacks, or if they simply heard about things and warnings and, possible threats and decided not to entertain them, not to do anything about it, but rather exploit that event to get us over into a war, to get oil, to, increase the laws with the Patriot Act and remove some of our civil liberties. Either way you look at it, they're guilty. They either did it and their hands are dirty, or they could have allowed it to happen, didn't do anything to stop it, and then exploited it for their own advantages. Either way, guilty. Guys, I'm serious. I'm making this video because I care about you and I care about the truth. I mean, without the truth, we can't get set free. We won't know where we're going. We won't know if something's bad or wrong. I mean, type in Operation Northwoods. Look at the reasons why they killed Kennedy. Look at how many times they tried to force him to go to war in Laos, in Cuba, in Berlin, in Vietnam, and he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't play ball, and they killed him. And every other president's been playing ball with the Fed, the Federal Reserve private bank, controlling all the inflation, deflation, reason for the crisis. Industrial military complex. I mean, all these corporations are just milking us dry, taking all of our money, screwing us screwing the American people, man. Operation Northwoods. That's why they killed Kennedy. Look it up. Look up the stuff. But I'm serious, and I'm trying to tell you guys, so y'all know, man, this is the truth. But I gotta go, because I think someone might be after me, man. This might be really serious, so oh God, no, no!